Nate, you guys had used looked to be a considerable amount of energy to get the game within one, and then they go on a 17-2 run. What did you notice that swung sort of the momentum and the energy within the building?
Well, just discipline. I think when we got it down to one, we made a few mistakes. I thought we gambled one or two possessions, and we had some turnovers, and those are things that can't happen. We fought our way back and got ourselves back into the game, and then we took a gamble, and they made a couple buckets, a couple turnovers, and all of a sudden the momentum just shift back to those guys.
You get Paul and you get Miles. They were both ineffective for much of the game. What did you notice were their issues, whether it was Paul on the offensive end or Miles trying to defend and rebound over Dwight Howard?
Well, Paul, been off a couple of days, and really he hasn't practiced because he's stayed off of his ankle. Just looked like he was short on his shots. Didn't really have his rhythm. He has some open looks that we know he normally knocks down, and his shot was short a few times. So it looked like he had been off a few days without practice, and as far as Miles, really didn't get a lot of looks tonight. A couple times that we ran some sets for him, they end up switching, or he missed a couple open looks. But if you're in uniform, you're ready to play. And those guys were in uniform tonight.
Now, you mentioned a few days ago that you felt it was necessary to dial back the offensive tempo a bit to take pressure, reduce the possessions for the defense's benefit. Mm-hmm. Has the load then on the off, has that taken, the offense seems to have really withered since that's happened?
I agree. We talked about, speeding up the pace and moving the ball. But when you're taking the ball out the net and you're not forcing stops, and, they had, 17 offensive rebounds. It's hard to get a running game going, or, you're not getting anything easy. You're playing against a set defense most of the night. They just dominated the offensive boards. Therefore, we're taking the ball out the net, and we're playing against a set defense, and that's going to slow you down.
As a follow-up to that, are you going to try to speed things up? Or are you going to try
we've been trying to speed things up. We got to get stops, and when you get stops, you're able to get out and get your transition going. Tonight, 9 fast break points. That's slowly we seem to be getting less and less each game, but it certainly starts. Defensively getting stops, and when we do get stops, we got to finish it with a rebound. And then when we get into our offense, I thought we had some open looks tonight. We missed a lot of open shots. I thought early. We shot 7 of 27 from the three, and 25%. We had some open looks that we normally knock down those shots.
Probably the number that jumps out of the box score most is rebounding. How do you address that? It's kind of been an issue all season. Do you consider a lineup change that helps it, or how do you go about resolving it?
It's going to take all 5 guys on the floor. We knew that Howard was a monster on the boards, and it was going to be tough for Miles to be down there by himself. And we got to get our guards, everybody in the paint, to help smash on elite rebounders like that. You can't allow one guy or think that one guy is going to be able to keep a guy like that off the boards. And a lot of times Miles was down there battling by himself, and we got to get our guards in the paint. It's going to take 5 guys, at least 4 guys, to recover to that paint and help box out and try to smash. A lineup change, we go smaller if we go with the lineup change. So we got to go with what we have.
I think everybody anticipated a somewhat slow start given all the changes, but you haven't really been taking advantage of this home-friendly schedule. What's your level of concern right now?
Well, what we saw tonight, just defensively getting stops and When we are playing well, the discipline to continue to do the right things, defensively, get stops, not gamble, not bail them out with silly fouls, and allow them to march to the free throw line, take care of the ball. I mean, tonight we had 20 turnovers. So what the issue is mistakes that you have to limit during the course of a game.
Nate, when things got chippy, you could see a rise in the level of energy from your team. Generally speaking, is your team playing hard enough?
Well, that's something that we've been talking about all season long. And, as I mentioned the other night in OKC scrap, these are things that we have to do every single night in order to give yourself a chance to win. And I thought tonight that, again, this team came out very aggressive. We started to scrap, fought our way back into the game, and then we made mistakes that I think cost us the game. So, are we playing hard enough? I think we can play harder. Are we going to have to play harder in order to give yourself a chance to win the ball game?
Nate, that played well again tonight. One thing that we're sort of noticing in this new offense is him shooting a lot more three-pointers than usual. With his success, how has he sort of made that transition in this offense from previous teams that he's played on to attempt more threes and to make more threes?
Well, I think everybody's still trying to get a feel for where their shots are going to come, and I think we're thinking about that sometimes too much. That we're taking that offense down to the defensive end of the floor. When we're not getting shots or when we are missing shots, and defensively we're not getting stops. You have to change that mindset and focus on playing the game both ways, allowing the game to come to you. I thought that he's allowed the game to come to him tonight, and for really most of the season. He's probably the one guy we're not calling a lot of plays for in order to try to get some other guys some rhythm going, and he does a good job of playing off the offense, allowing that game to come to him and taking advantage of the defense making mistakes.
This was Miles' first significant time against a guy like Dwight. What kind of takeaways do you have for him going against a dominant performance like Dwight?
Well, it's his first time for going up against a lot of guys. I mean, every guy this year at that center position. He's a second-year player, trying to anchor your defense and learn to defend the basket. As you just mentioned, his first time seeing a guy like Howard, and the other night it was Adams. So it's different guys every night, and this is a learning experience for him. He has to develop into that center of the future for us, and second year guy. First time seeing Howard, you learn from that. I think the only way for him to mature is to continue to play and gain experience from playing guys like this.